I went to the movies and I saw this movie trailer for a movie called Sneaks, and it was about talking sneakers. I laughed so hard when I saw this trailer. Most of the humans in the trailer were black, the main human wanted to play basketball, and the movie was focused on talking shoes. Yeah, in case you don't know, nice shoes is a big part of African American culture.
Give me the Timbs.
Nah.
Give me the Timbs.
Nah.
Give me the Timbs right now.
Not the Timbs.
Damn, this nigga done took the Timbs, man!
I immediately thought to myself, man, what if there was a white version of this movie? And then it hit me. Oh wait, there was a white version of this movie that came out about 19 years ago. Everyone's Hero, a movie that if you looked it up on YouTube, you would find barely any information about it. Yeah, this movie was entirely forgettable in about every single way. It doesn't really have any deep themes or messages, it's just kind of a generic kids movie. But I remember when it first came out, and I hated this movie with a burning passion. It was the first time in my entire life when a movie genuinely pissed me off. The premise of the movie is this: Babe Ruth, the greatest baseball player in all of history, was actually a hack. All his skill actually came from his special baseball bat. But one day his baseball bat is stolen. So our main character, who's this kid that has the power to talk to baseball equipment, goes on a quest to find it. As you can clearly tell, the story is completely uninspired. When it comes to this movie along with Sneaks, I just have to ask myself, what studio would decide to greenlit movies like this? Yeah, Toy Story worked because the toys were humanoid, they had a lot of personality, and that movie had a lot of heart behind it. What kid wants to see a movie about a living baseball and bat, or a world where shoes can talk? You can't even draw good porn of these characters!
Give it a little nibble.
But this movie was made because I guess someone somewhere really wanted to make it. Anyways, let's get on with the review. So the movie opens up with, wait, what was that? My computer seems to be having frame rate issues. Huh, that was weird. Oh my god, it seems to be happening again. What's going on here? Oh, I see. When it paused on the bat and the glove, text was supposed to appear on screen, but I guess the editors forgot to put it in. Oh my god, we haven't even begun the movie and it's already not off to a great start.
Oh, come on! Why do I always get stuck with the loser?
Yeah, it almost seems like it makes no sense for you guys to play with him in the first place. This is our main character, Yankee Irvin. I always wondered what a computer-animated version of Hogarth would look like, and now I know! His personality is that he really loves baseball, but he sucks at it. And that's about it.
Me?
Oh, no!
Kid, why are you laughing? You didn't manage to make him fall on the ground. Yankee is told that he doesn't have a strike zone, even though he does, because everybody has a strike zone. I get that he's short, but even someone like fucking Chicken Little has a strike zone. Everybody tells Irving not to swing, but he decides to swing anyways to prove them all wrong. But he ends up proving every single one of them right because he sucks. This somehow causes the game they just started to end. Irving is a friendless loser, so he decides to become friends with a baseball that he found on the ground.
Hey, Irving! You stink!
Oh god, he was the victim of a drive-by insult!
Reginald! I disagree!
We're introduced to our villain of the movie, who hates Babe Ruth because he has a World Series trophy and he didn't get one, I guess. He's in charge of the Cubs, and he also has a little minion, Lefty McGinnis, who looks like a computer-animated version of Mansley from Iron Giant. Now, Lefty McGinnis here is a dirty cheater, even though this movie also confirms that Babe Ruth is technically a cheater because all his skill comes from a special bat. No, I do not know what the message of this show is supposed to be. Maybe the message is, it's okay when my favorite team cheats, but when other teams cheat, it's bad. Which is actually a moral code every single sports fan stands behind. By the way, I just realized this now, we never actually see Lefty cheat. Sure, we see him put snot on a ball, but according to the rules of baseball, that's not cheating. So when you really get down to it, Babe Ruth is the cheater and Lefty isn't. The only thing the quote-unquote villains are trying to do is stop Babe Ruth from cheating by taking away his magical bat. No, I do not know how Mr. Cross came to the conclusion that Babe Ruth needs this magical bat to be good, but somehow he did. Yeah, this movie doesn't really have a plot, stuff just kind of happens. Yankee Irwin is so upset when he gets home. He rips apart the art he made of his dad and Babe Ruth being gay lovers. But then he discovers that his baseball doesn't even want to be his friend, and it comes to life. The baseball also doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that Yankee can tell that he's alive.
What?
Are you talking?
I am.
The baseball is just like, yeah, I can talk and you can understand me. What of it? And no, this is not a magic baseball that came to life. He's just a normal baseball, and Yankee Irwin somehow has the ability to talk to him. Now, if you're wondering what's going on and how the rules of this universe actually work, good for you. We get a little bit of a chase scene that kind of just pads out the movie.
Mom, look! A talking baseball!
He never gets tired of that one.
Oh my gosh, a talking baseball. Well, I think I hear the meatloaf talking. It's saying, Yankee, time for dinner.
Talking meatloaf? Food can't talk, except for beans. They can make themselves heard.
Oh, get cleaned up.
She can't hear you?
I don't know, let's see. Help! I've been kidnapped by a deranged child!
Yeah, despite the fact that Irwin was probably the first person ever to talk to the baseball seems more confused as to why his mom can't hear him. No matter how you slice it, the rules of this universe just don't make any sense at all.
Not the underpants drawer!
Don't worry, they're clean.
Not anymore.
Wait, what? Why would they no longer be clean? What happened? By the way, this scene was in like all the trailers for this movie. The kid takes his dad's lunch to him, and I'm gonna say one good thing about this movie. I absolutely adore the backgrounds. Maybe it's just nostalgia talking, but these backgrounds look like they would fit in Half-Life 2 or Psychonauts. Irwin tells his dad that he sucks at baseball, and his dad tells him, "You don't need to be good, son. You just need a magic bat like Babe Ruth."
Is that Darlin?
Yep, sure is. Babe had that bat custom made 3 years ago.
That was the first year he hit 50 home runs.
That's right. People say she was made from a 1,000-year-old tree growing on the side of Mount Olympus. I'm pretty sure it was made in Kentucky.
Hey look, it's the one funny line in the movie. Irwin's dad leaves him alone with the bat and Irwin is about to touch it. But then Lefty comes in disguised as a security guard and tells Irwin to scram. The bat is stolen and people think that Irwin's dad did it. And Irwin's dad thinks that Irwin did it. Yep, the one time Irwin went to visit his dad at the workplace, Babe Ruth's magical bat got stolen. One could call this a super convenient thing that happened for the plot to move forward. But it's actually a super convenient thing that happened for the plot to start. We learned a little baseball's backstory. He always wanted to be a home run ball. He made it to the majors. He thought his dream was going to come true, but unfortunately, it was a foul. Wow, I can't express how—
We do not care.
Thank God you're here. This kid is crazy. First he put me in the underpants drawer, then he pushed me underwater, then he forced me to eat meatloaf. Meatloaf! Are you listening?
For some reason, the baseball thinks that some people other than Irwin can hear him, even though his whole life that has never happened. Irwin was the first one, and he treated their interaction like it was no big deal. Irwin's dad loses his job, and despite the fact that he thinks his son took the bat, he just sends him to his room. Wow, Irwin's dad is a really nice guy. Keep in mind this movie took place in the 1920s. Back then, child abuse was not only accepted, but expected. Yankee figures out that the security guard was actually Lefty McGinnis. So he decides to sneak out and check every single train car until he finds the guy with Babe Ruth's bat.
You're just a kid, and this is the real world, not some fantasy land filled with gumdrop fairies.
Yeah, kid, this is the real world where sports equipment can talk. Yankee, of course, conveniently comes across Lefty and sneaks aboard the train he is taking.
Hello?
Auga, boobies, boobies.
Yankee manages to get the box that the bat is in, but unfortunately for him, Lefty catches him doing it. And we get a, honestly, pretty cool chase scene. Maybe it's just me, but this chase scene is reminding me of all those games you see people playing in shorts. You know, the one where the kid is running through all the train tracks while being chased? Yeah, that one. Dude, Lefty got some moves! Why does this guy need to cheat? He's awesome! Eventually, Yankee gets away from Lefty, and then we're introduced to, Babe Ruth's talking bat. For some reason, her face is drawn weirdly sexy. Maybe I was wrong, maybe there really is porn of these characters.
Give it a little nibble.
It's moments like these, I have to ask myself, what has my life become? I'm talking about a kid's movie that's about 20 years old, with a scene of a bat and a baseball having an argument. Babe Ruth's bat tries to roll herself home, but she can't, which is something she should already know. Yankee wants to take the baseball back to his home in New York so this movie can end. Lefty comes in the room and Yankee hides from him, even though he easily should be able to see him. Those chairs are covered in gaps, and even if it was a solid object, no one else is in the room aside from them. He could easily hear Yankee. Lefty calls Mr. Cross, and I think they might be gay.
I look forward to seeing the package.
Lefty sees Yankee and starts his chase after him on one of those, I don't know what you call those things. I don't know why he's using this. I mean, he is an athlete. The guy should be pretty good at running. Of course, a train shows up, and instead of getting off of the device he's on, he decides to run away. And of course, the train does not slow down at all.
Finally!
Yankee comes across a group of homeless people. Seems like he went to California by mistake. They listen to the game on the radio and they find out that Babe Ruth sucks without his bat, which technically makes him a giant cheater. Yankee's about to go with them, but then he remembers stranger danger, so he decides to head to Chicago.
Babe's their hero. Babe's everyone's hero.
He said it! He said it!
Oh, so this is why this movie is called that. Wow, that makes no sense. First of all, he's a baseball player. That's not a hero, that's a guy who just plays sports. Second of all, if we're only including baseball fans, then what about everybody who isn't a fan of the Yankees? To them, Babe Ruth must be the greatest villain of all.
I guess a couple of days in Chicago couldn't hurt. I've been curious about that deep dish pizza.
What? You're a baseball, you don't eat. Yankee's baseball is stolen by two mini-bosses. Luckily, a black girl shows up to help him. Through throwing apples, he learns to become a better baseball player by keeping his eye on the ball. Lefty follows Yankee to this town. Apparently, he survived getting hit by a train. You know, I think this guy's talents are wasted on baseball. He's already strong enough and skilled enough to become the next Captain America. She tells Yankee that her dad is a pitcher for the Cincinnati Tigers. Wow. The first friend Yankee made just so happened to be the child of a famous baseball player. What are the odds? And Yankee tells her, I'm off on a quest to return Babe Ruth's magical bat to him. That way Babe Ruth can completely humiliate your dad in front of millions. Lefty shows up, but Yankee with a little help manages to escape his clutches once again.
What does a janitor do? Janet? Oh.
What? Why was he pulling the bat towards his face? Also, he's a grown man who's an athlete. How can he not overpower a little kid? Off screen, Lefty tells the police that a black family assaulted him, and they're all arrested. Hey, this is the 1920s. Things were even worse for black people back then. Hang on, let me check the comments, and yep, all the rightoids are calling me a soy boy, and all the leftists are calling me racist for this take. Yankee continues his travels, but eventually he starts to get homesick, and he breaks down crying. Lefty tanks a lightning bolt because he's a badass. Yankee catches a ride with the Tigers because they really want to help a rival team for some reason. The Tigers help Yankee with his baseball stance. You know, I just realized this, throughout this entire movie, Yankee, a white kid, is receiving training from exclusively black people. What is this, the origin story of Elvis Presley? Yankee manages to make it to Chicago. He sees Babe Ruth and he's about to return his bat to him. You know, I just realized this. Everyone thinks that Yankee's dad stole his bat, and Yankee's dad thinks that his son stole the bat. If he returns the bat to Babe Ruth, it's just going to be confirmation to everyone that he was the one who stole Babe Ruth's bat. Lefty sees Yankee and he replaces Babe Ruth's bat with a breadstick. Yankee ends up getting kidnapped himself, even though they really don't need him at all. They literally bring him along just so the villain can start monologuing.
He starts monologuing.
Now you're probably wondering as to why the villain wants Babe Ruth's bat. Is he going to use her magical powers to make the Cubs team the most powerful team of them all? No, he's going to use her for unrelated baseball things. Which makes you wonder as to why he doesn't just destroy her. Right after Lefty stole the bat, he could have just chucked it into a fire and this movie would have been over. He decides to leave Yankee next to the bat in his office by himself for no reason. We get the cliche all is lost moment. Yankee breaks out of the box, goes down to the baseball field. He easily outruns baseball security because of course he does. Bro has been evading Lefty, the most badass man in the world. These guys are nothing compared to him. Babe Ruth decides to have the little kid bat for him, even though he's supposedly one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Babe, nobody's ever used darling but you.
Yeah, well, I don't want her to hear this, but it's not really the bat. It's the batter.
No. This movie has shown us over and over and over again that it's absolutely the bat that makes the player. Yankee is using Babe Ruth's bat, the ball is of course the talking baseball, and the pitcher is Lefty. Like literally every single baseball movie ever. He gets struck one, and then struck two, and then on the third one he finally hits it. I would like to say more, but yeah, that's basically the movie. It even ends with a generic song because of course it does. I do hate this movie, but not in the same way I hate something like Twilight or She-Hulk or Velma. I more so hate it in the aspect of why did it need to exist? If you want to watch this movie for yourself, you can actually find it on YouTube. Yeah, it was so forgettable that not even the copyright owners cared about it. I will say that somehow this movie reminded me of The Iron Giant, and I'm going to review that next time. I want to increase the budget of these videos, so if you can find it in your heart to donate to me on Patreon, that would be a big help.